Hello, today is August 23rd, 2018, and the time is 12:19 p.m. Before I get into what I want to say, and I have no idea what I want to say, this message I'm about to say right now are for all those people who defend police and say, let the police do what they want and have your day in court. These people are beyond a special kind of stupid. They're the ultimate stupid. So about a few hours ago, I got news that the Court of Appeal has denied leave, meaning permission, to have my case brought before the Court of Appeal. I haven't gone through the ruling on that yet, but speaking with the current lawyer, really what he said was it's very clear that the courts do not want to go against the police. I've spent over 5.5 years trying to vindicate myself, not just of the alleged 2 charges of obstruction and assaulting a police officer, but all the peripheral stuff that they included with all that. It's frustrating for me because I have no recourse. The lawsuit that's pending, which is probably gonna start up because it was stayed, meaning suspended until all my appeals and everything are done. So this was my last shot, apparently. So trying to vindicate myself with the lawsuit of my innocence, the defense for the police are simply going to say I was convicted of obstruction and assaulting a police officer and accept everything that the trial judge had said without question. It makes it next to impossible for me to sue and vindicate myself through the civil courts. However, the peripheral damage that they've done outside of the 2 alleged charges and convictions, that's all I have left. So I opened this video with a statement. How people defend the police when we see videos of people fighting cops. And sometimes, maybe they are guilty people trying to get away. What we see in most of these videos is they try to get away, but they surrender and that's it. And we still see police beating those people up, even when they're unconscious. On May 4th, 2013, prior to 11 p.m., I allowed myself to be handcuffed and beaten like a dog. Not that dogs should be beaten, it's just a phrase. And I remember thinking, I'm in the right, and I'll have my day in court. It took them over 3.5 years to convict me. Because ultimately, in the end, when I took over my trial, I didn't make it easy on them. So, it appears any interaction with police and they target you, you have a choice. And I'm not advocating either. I'm just saying, even if you don't defend yourself, fight back or anything, they will still charge you for obstruction and assault, and you will be convicted if you fight it. Too many people in this scenario plead it out because they don't want to go through years of what I've been going through. And that's part of the problem, because people don't stand up against injustice like I have. There was nothing that night that I could have said or did differently to avoid what happened. It happened in seconds. They were on a mission, and the mission revolved around the female. And what's interesting is you're charged and convicted contrary to the evidence of your innocence, because it's with the police. I've spent over 5.5 years, tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and accrued debts. In the end, no court wants to go against the police. And part of this, a big part of this, is the conveyor belt of a criminal, the conveyor belt of conviction. And once these degenerates of the human gene pool target you, that is what the system, including the government, wants you to be. That's your role. That's your purpose. We see the same thing in the mental health field, and there's a video on that. So, where I'm at now is I have serious injuries that have been getting worse over the years. They needed medical attention, and I can't afford. And because I'm deemed guilty with the lawsuit, I can't find I'm not going to be able to sue for compensation for that to get the injuries fixed. I'm living with that for the rest of my life. So a conviction is on your record for 5 years, and I was convicted 2 years ago, so I have 3 more years. So in total, this whole ordeal has cost me 9 years of my life, which means for the next 3 years, I don't know how I'm going to survive or what I'm going to do. With a criminal record, I cannot get a job reflecting my education or my career history. And in fact, almost all employers want a criminal record check. So that affects me there. And any of the lower end jobs that don't require a criminal record check, I'm crippled. And I have some health issues now as a result of the stress. The issue with disability that I have, or was having, because I don't have any health coverage right now. I told the provincial health services, because of the ill treatment, because of what the 2 officers told them about me and put me on some database which cannot be erased apparently. And on a side note, the whole restraining order by the female is on my record. It's not just one fucking thing. It's a whole bunch of things that these 2 did to me, and the system supports it. And the problem, as I was trying to say, that I was having with disability for being disabled, apparently it's deemed that I have a sound mind, so I should be able to work at a job that doesn't require anything physical. The problem is, I have a criminal record and I cannot work, say, in a job that requires anything physical. And because I'm convicted, it really throws off my ability to get disability for my injuries to help me out financially. Because my injuries, because I'm convicted, are deemed to be self-inflicted type of thing. So it's a lot of hoops and waiting, and so I don't have, right now I don't have that option. So what does all this mean? Well, with regards to sentencing, over 5.5 years later, I'm going back to jail right now on the weekends, which in itself, it's humiliating, because when you go in, they strip search you, and for me, the feeling that I get is like I'm being raped. And nobody gives a shit. Because the system is comprised of psychopaths and sociopaths. Whatever point that they thought they were trying to make with me, all it's done is solidified the fact of how corrupt everything is. So people have to make their own choice on their interactions with the police. If they're lucky, they get shot and killed, and it's over for them. But if they end up getting beaten, they get charged, convicted, and that's it. As I said in an older video, nothing ever good comes from these people. But the weaker of the human gene pool, as I've said, the betas and omegas, need them because they're fucking useless to do anything for themselves. So my life, at least for the next 3 years, is going to be hell as I try to survive. And why the Section 11B charter argument to be tried within reasonable time wasn't brought up with the Court of Appeals beyond me. Other good arguments were made, but that key one would have at least had the charges stayed, no criminal record, and I could have moved on. And despite there being no evidence of my committing any crimes, and despite the former officer losing his job over this, I'm still deemed guilty. Because the bigger picture from their perspective is maintaining the integrity of the system, the police, the courts. I have nothing left in life now.
And I would also like to add that no one is addressing, including this fourth lawyer, all the inconsistencies and testimonies of the officers supporting my innocence and what actually took place. I just wanted to say it's a shame many people waste their lives with nonsense, harming others. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's helped me and supported me over the years. And I'm truly sorry that I let everyone down. I gave it my best fight. Just wanted you to know that.